All right, now remember, we're going to do the same experiment, only we're going to use a Jolly Rancher instead of table sugar. And we're going to do the experiment backwards. Remember that first we put in the sugar, which was the fuel, then the potassium chlorate, which gave it lots of oxygen, and then the lighter gave it heat. We're going to do it backwards. We're going to start with heat, then add the oxygen, and then add the fuel. So we'll do the whole thing backwards, but it's the same reaction. All right, but now wait, if we're doing it backwards, starting with heat, and it doesn't get hot until you combine everything together. So we can't use the sulfuric acid because it's not going to get hot. Instead, we're going to use something called a Bunsen burner. And there's several different kinds of Bunsen burners. This is one of my favorite ones right here. And what this does is gives you a lot of heat in a very small spot. Let me show you. A lot of heat right there in a small spot. Okay? All right. We're going to put the Jolly Rancher inside a test tube and do the reaction inside there. All right, I'm going to have the heat right here. There's the heat. And now we need the oxygen, and the oxygen is going to come from the potassium chlorate again, just like it did before. So I'll put the potassium chlorate into the test tube. And then add the heat to it. Now, as we add heat to that potassium chlorate, the potassium chlorate is going to start to change from a solid into a liquid. And it's starting to do that. It takes just a little while to get it to change to a liquid. Now, the reason we're using a Jolly Rancher is because if you look at the ingredients for a Jolly Rancher, the first ingredient is corn syrup. And corn syrup is a really, really sweet syrup that's made from corn. And then the second ingredient is sugar. So the first ingredient is corn syrup, and the second ingredient is sugar. Corn syrup is sugar syrup, and then you have sugar on top of that. So yes, the Jolly Rancher is just a chunk of sugar. So it should work very well as our fuel for this experiment. All right. That potassium chlorate is starting to melt. All right, potassium chlorate has completely changed from a solid into a liquid. So we've got the heat, we've got the oxygen. All we need is the fuel. Open up the Jolly Rancher. In fact, we have so much heat, I don't even think I need the Bunsen burner anymore. So let's get rid of that. We'll lift the test tube up so you can see it a little bit better. Get the fuel ready to go, and let's turn off the lights. Here we go. All right, and now we have a dead Jolly Rancher in a test tube. Hey, you see this black stuff that's left over? That looks kind of like the stuff that we had left over after we did the sugar bomb. I wonder what that black stuff is. I'll give you a hint. We've talked about it today already. It's carbon. Carbon is what you have left over after you burn a piece of paper, or you burn some wood at a campfire, or you burn your marshmallow, or you burn a Jolly Rancher. You have carbon left over.